Hello, everybody. Happy Thursday. Welcome to Vintage Craft and Chat. Today we are working with strip paper scraps. I have been saving these forever. I had a cute little mug that's been sitting on my craft desk, and every time I have an offcut or a little strip of something, I have just been adding it to that coffee mug, and it's been driving me crazy because there's so much in there, it's exploding. So I took a look at that the other day and I thought, okay, today's the day we're going to use our paper scraps. Now, if you don't have strips like this, it's super easy to make your own. Cut with some scissors, use a paper trimmer. In some instances, I will even rip them into strips. And in fact, I use so many strips with just the few projects that I made that I actually ended up cutting some more. So, and I was just sitting here this morning. I have a bunch of these calendar pages. And so I was just cutting those into strips. Again, scraps, they've just been laying around, but it is a great project to use the scraps up. Oh, you know what? I'm not used to this restream yet. I didn't even open the chat. I see we have some friends here. Let me say hello. Hello, Kathy. I'm so glad you're here. And Terry is here. And Susie is here. And Leanne is here. Hello, hello. How is everybody? It is, it's going to get noisy because, of course, the gardeners always come Thursday morning, but it is bright and sunny. It's a beautiful day here in Southern California. So hopefully it is a beautiful day where you are all at. Let me show a couple examples. So you can also make these large. If you have very long strips, you can make a huge masterboard. Take a piece of cardstock or thick book pages. I have been using file folders. In fact, I had some that I upcycled. Parts of them weren't that great, so I cut off the kind of the bent edges. So that's what I like to use too for my tags. So you can make them as big as you like, but the ones I was working on this week, I wanted them for kind of some specific projects. So I actually just cut my file folder into tag shape. But here's a few that I made. So these are very neutral, just a completely neutral backdrop. And you can see it's got all kinds of fun, beautiful pages in there. And so this is ready to put something else cute on it and decorate it. This one, I ended up grabbing some invoices that my sweet dear friend Kiki, neighbor friend, had given me. I think they're maybe from the 90s, so they're vintage. And I actually ripped and cut some of those up to do this kind of pastel one. I thought that would look really pretty with the yellow and pink receipts and the matte pages. And here's another neutral one. And then here's a couple, and I even pulled out some that I had made probably at least a year ago. But here are some that I decorated. So again, I made a little masterboard in the tag shape. And I think there's a lot going on. Well, these are a little bit more neutral. So I think these are fun. You can kind of have fun and decorate these up some more. But I found the ones where I'm using, bright, colorful pages. They really don't need much. In fact, I kind of think it detracts from it a little bit. But this one, I just added a little piece of doily and just a little cluster of, I did a little fussy cut from a piece of fabric and just simple little cluster, and you're done. And then this one I made for my patriotic journal that I've been still working on. I'm not done with it yet. And this one, I just put a ticket on the front of it. That's it. Like super, super easy. And I think both of these you can't see, but there's some kind of lined ledger paper on the back. So that's that. Let me see. I'm sure I'm missing other people. Khadijah is here. Hello, Khadijah. And Angela is here. Angela, I've been working. Yesterday I started on my swap for you. I'm so excited. It's so cute. I needed to order something. So I'm waiting for something to come from Amazon. I didn't have, I needed a finding. Finding. I don't want to say what it is, but so I have to wait for those to come today, and then I can work on it some more. Okay, I don't think I've missed anybody else. This was one that I pulled out. Again, I made this probably a year, maybe a couple years ago, and I used washi tape. So washi tape is a great thing to use too, along with your paper strips. And this one, yeah, so it looks like I did strips, and then I did kind of a little collage. What do I want to say? Surreal collage. I had a little, I don't know, background there, and then I stuck a big bird and a big mushroom on it. So that's a little bit of a surreal look. And then this one I had tucked in one of my journals too. So this one I added a little bit more. Looks like it's washi tape book pages, and then I did I think it's a stamped image that I colored in with colored pencil. I think those were both stamped, like rubber stamped images, the bee and the flowers, and I just colored them in with pencil. So that's kind of another example. I hope everybody's good today. So yeah, so some of these I just did them in small form. So you can do them. In fact, maybe what we'll do, we'll work on a bigger piece. I grabbed out this piece of file folder that I had painted and didn't do anything with. So we'll just go ahead and glue stuff on it. But the examples that I was working on this week, I just did it in small form. Somewhat because of the size of the little paper strips I had, and I wanted them for very specific journals that I have in the works. So like this one, I wanted to do for a specific journal, but I wasn't sure if I wanted, you know, all these pinks and greens for something else, but I guess I could have made it big. Same thing with this one. I wanted to do it for the patriotic journal, so I just made it small. I cut the file folder to size and then collaged on top of it. So, but you could do either. I would say if you're doing a very neutral one like this with the strips, then you know, do a big sheet. If you have a big you know, 12 by 12, you could even do that. It just depends on the size of your book pages, right? Sometimes that limits what you can do. Yeah, hopefully that makes sense. I'm a funny one. A lot of times I'll make specific ephemera for specific journals, and I probably should think ahead and think, well, I'll just make a big one and then cut it down as I need it. But I don't know, my mind works in small, so I tend to just grab a little tag, cut it, and then go from there. I need to think bigger. Okay, let me pull the prompt before I get distracted and I forget. Okay. Ooh, what is it? Oh, this is a good one. Fabric. That's a great one. We all have lots of fabric. In fact, everybody in our crafting group has been so into doing fun projects with like making fabric washi tape. And Holly yesterday, Angela had posted a little hack of, I guess it was regular tape, like taking regular tape and putting it on a book page or a what do I want to say, like an illustration from a book, and then making like faux washi tape. And Holly tried it yesterday. It looks super cute. So yeah, maybe I'll do the fabric, the double-sided tape hack that I've been wanting to try. So let me put that up there. So that'll be fun. And then I didn't get to share because we weren't together last week, but this was my make for children. Children was our child. I think it was children, right? Not child. So that was my make, just a little journaling card with that sweet little, from one of my favorite children's books that I love to take illustrations out. So I thought she was cute. In fact, and then the label, like I have pieces and parts from all kinds of people. So the label was in friend mail from Carrie, the paper monkey. So that was fun to use. I think it's Liberty of London. So that's a cute little paper label. And then these were some of those cool paper strips that I found when Leanne and Nettie and I went to Remainders, that arts and crafts supply thrift store. Okay, let me get that out of the way. And then this past week, our prompt was thread, and everybody's been posting such adorable, cute things in our Instagram page. But I've been wanting to play with this for a while. Hopefully it comes through. But I just took some muslin fabric and did a rubber stamped image, and then just did, you know, easy. I'm not a good sewer, so I wouldn't even call it embroidery. But I just sewed around and made a little border. Same thing here. I like what I did here. I ended the thread at the top, in the front. So I don't know, maybe I'll put a bow or something. This one didn't end up that way. But basically, these are just little fodder that can be added to a tag. I'll figure out what I'm going to do with them. I love this one. So I actually looked up on YouTube on how to do, is it called pearls? Knotted pearls. I can't remember what the stitch is. So I just did some little knots in the center of the flower there. I think that one's my favorite. Although I do love the bird too. And in fact, like this would look so sweet and cute on this. Maybe I will end up adding, but how cute would that be? Just a little simple something to add to the front of a tag, I think would be really adorable. So those were my makes. Let's see. Leanne says, I'm just realizing how many, I guess I should read up here. What happened here? I'm just realizing how many scraps I've accumulated, and I'm itching to glue them down to do a masterboard. Yeah, when I just want to relax and just not like have anything mental to think about, it is so relaxing to just glue. Rip glue, get your ruler, you know, rip things down and glue them on a piece of paper is very relaxing. Hi, Marcy. How are you? I'm so glad you're here. I hope you're having a good Thursday. Oh, French knots. That's what they're called. French knots. Thank you, Kathy. I knew they were cute, and I didn't know what they were called. That's my first time doing them. I've never embroidered or have done slow stitch or anything like that. So it's super new. Okay. All right, let's get started. Let me figure out how to turn my camera around here, and let's dig into our paper strips. Okay, where is it? Leanne knows, because when she was here, we were like, how do you change? There we go. It's not as intuitive as StreamYard, I will say. Okay, there we go. All right, let me shove a little bit of this stuff back. You can see I have a big pile of paper here. Let me move all this stuff back. I don't really need that or to look at that. Okay, I'm going to put my water aside. I don't want to spill it. Take a little sip. Look how cute these are. I don't remember when I picked this up. It's been a while, but look at these cute little coasters they had at Dollar Tree. I thought, oh my gosh, that's adorable. I have one coaster on my craft desk here, and I have to carry it back and forth. So I thought, okay, I need one here. So now I have one here, and then I can leave the other one on the other side. Okay, let's see here. Okay, so this is just my glue page. And like I said, I really worked through a lot of my strips. So I started grabbing some other pieces of paper and making additional strips. In fact, I thought this map page, or not map page, this kind of floral calendar would be super cute. So let me pull some of those out. In fact, these are cool too when you get the offcuts that have the holes. Actually, let's just leave those there. I'll move this stuff out of the way. Let's do a big one. Oh, and then I also grabbed these out. You know, sometimes you come across these illustrations in your books, your children's books that maybe, I don't know that I would necessarily put that or add that into a signature. And there's not a lot that I could fussy cut. Maybe the chicken I could fussy cut out. But same thing with this lady, maybe the birds. But they offer a ton of color. So I think those are great things to rip down. Like, look at this one. The colors are so great here. But again, I don't know that I would really make a focal out of that. Same thing with this. Has that great kind of 70s look. And then even something like this, right? Because their faces are a little bit creepy, on the creepy side, but you get some great color if you rip this, or even go this way too, rip it down into strips. So I just grabbed those out as examples. But let's work on this one. It's a little bit bent because I painted the back side. I have no idea what my thought was to do with it, but let's glue on this side, I think. And then let me grab, where did those all go? I got a big pile here now. I'm going to grab these florals, and what do we want to combine with it? So I like to alternate. I like to have some things that are maybe whites and beiges and creams, and then alternate with some print, unless I'm doing a very neutral, right? Like that one's super neutral, but you could see I am layering in. I have, you know, different size fonts. I have sheet music. I have some ledger pages. So even though it's very neutral, I'm really adding a lot of texture. And then this one, I actually came in and added some strips of tissue paper over the top of it, which I love to do. They were just laying in my drawer and they caught my attention. So that's actually another way too. You can kind of change the look. But let me get some other stuff stripped down here. And I'm just going to use my ruler. I find that's pretty easy. And I like, because this has a white background, I want to pull some white pages out. I should go the other direction. It would be easier. Like, let me do that. And then, like, I like this. This is some kind of lined school paper, but it's white and blue. That is catching my attention. So I'll pull some of that out. A little bit quicker and easier if we do it this way. Get a little pile here. Very loud. Whoops. Let's do that. Yeah, that's good. Those are nice and long. And let's see, what else? We have that going. That's kind of a cool colorway. There's some more of these here. Oh, I want to get some of this. I have some of this black and white. Let me see if I can find any in my bin. If not, I'll pull one of the pages out. But it's a floral. It's from one of my guidebooks, but it's a black and white. And I think that might have a cool look, just because there's a lot going on. Ooh, this would be pretty too. Oh, this would be pretty. I don't even know where this came from. A letter from 1962. I think it came from an estate sale or something. So let's I'm using my vintage, so let's rip some of that down. Hopefully I'm not making anybody cringe, but that would be pretty because there's a lot of blue in the in that floral. So let's get a little bit of that going. And oh, here we go. Here's some of that page. Does it fit? It fits. So I'm going to rip it down the long way rather than the short way. And let's get a couple pieces of that going. I was surprised. I had so many strips and I was surprised how many I really used up once I started digging into my stash. All right, easy peasy. Oh, I didn't grab my glue stick. Let me go grab one. I'm going to get a big one here, I think. Grab a handful here. That was the one thing I didn't bring over. I always forget how this ooh-hoo. Let's see. I think I'm missing. Let me make sure. Oh, Angela, for the base, I like to use file folders or like cardstock. I don't like, you know, maybe I don't like the print, but the one thing with the cardstock, if it has a really dark color to it, you have to be careful because sometimes that will show through on the book pages. But yeah, I like to use upcycle as I can. Let's see. Yeah, I don't like, I see a lot of people making their tags on just like, they'll just take kind of copy weight and then maybe put a piece of coffee dyed on the back. To me, that's not substantial enough. So I definitely like to use cardstock. File folder is great. Oh, look at this was, upcycled calendars, I think are also great. Like, would this be, this was, I was using this for Angela's project that I was working, but I completely covered it up. Now, it does have, this particular one does have a glossy side, so you need to use Fabri-Tac if you're gluing something down. Whenever it has glossy, I like to use Fabri-Tac. I feel like I don't have a good adhesion when I just use glue stick. But if you have old calendars, those are great too, because this is, you know, really, what do I want to say? Heavyweight kind of cardstock. So that's another thing to upcycle, or something, you know, things you get in the mail, work really well. Let's see, what did Leanne say? I've used ugly worn out file photos for the base, but then find it can end up thicker than I like. Are you using just the white manila ones? Yeah, this is usually the ones I tend to. I don't use like the hanging file folders. But I find that these are like the, I bet this one is like the Dollar Tree. I feel like the Dollar Tree ones are kind of thin. Do you guys find that they're a little bit thinner? Yeah, cardstock. Yeah. Oh, you're not sure for the what kind they are, Leanne? Yeah. But if they're just these manila ones, these to me are perfect. That's definitely something I will grab for right away. Okay. So let's grab our ooh-hoo here. And I'm just going to put a big strip down of glue, a couple inches, and we're just going to grab and go. I'm not gonna think too much. Let's get some of this here. And sometimes I find as I'm going, I'll get off-sided. Whoops, let me take that down so you guys can see a little bit more. And let me put my camera a little bit different here. Let's see, Khadijah says she uses thicker printer paper. Yeah, but it depends on the papers I'm adding as strips. I do full masterboards, and then when I know what it will become, you cut it up. Yeah, yes, exactly. Oh, and yeah, see, we all have preference. Like Leanne likes things to be on the thinner, lightweight side. And yeah, and then some people like myself, I like things to be a little bit thicker for my tags and my journaling cards. Yes, that is a challenge to not think so much. And I'm an overthinker. So it's it's a challenge for me not to overthink. I can definitely have. Okay, there we go. All right, let's see here. Some of my pieces too might not be long enough, but I think we're pretty good. Let's even add more. Let's see here. Maybe we'll do. Okay, now this one's cool. So this one right here, I ripped the edge of it, and I like that ripped edge. So I think I'm going to find another piece to go below it, like maybe this lined paper here. Let me see if I have let me raise it up a little bit. So I'm going to take this lined paper and then add a little bit of glue up there. And then put this, actually, you know what? I'm going to put glue on the back of this. Let me just run some down here. And that way we're getting a little bit of a texture with the ripped end. There we go. I'll turn that over. Oh, I love that. Let me put it a little bit closer. How cute is that? So we have the little book page, and you can see a peek of that behind the ripped floral. Let's see here. Yep, I like that. Let's lay that down. And what else do we have here? Let's see. No, I don't think I like that. I think we have a really good kind of neutral look going on here. Let's lay some of that down. I was going to grab some of that pink or yellow receipt paper, but I think it's bright, but it's a really nice neutral. And a fun thing too, if you are ripping down or cutting your pieces of paper to size, is then you can take advantage of altering the widths of them. So here we have a really big piece, a little bit smaller, and then this one is really nice and thin here. Grab something that speaks to me. Okay, let's see, do we want more of that? That's perfect. Okay. Oh, now I'm thinking, I bet I should have gone this way because I probably would want to cut the tags, but that would be a cool look to cut it down and have the strips running top to bottom, which I haven't done before. So we'll cut it once it dries. We'll see what that looks like, because I think that this is probably a better, or I guess I could do 2 tall skinny tags. I'm trying to think what journals I have working on. We could do it that way too. Okay, don't get distracted, Julie. Let's see, I like these are kind of interesting. Where it had the little perforated holes there. Maybe we'll add a little piece of that in. Let's see here. Let's grab maybe another piece of this. That's the other side of that paper. You know what I'd like to have is more blue. I like that blue grid, and I might grab a piece of paper out. Let me see what I have going on here. Oh, I think I do have more. Here's another piece. I'm not sure if it's wide enough. Some of these pieces down in here a little bit small just because I was using them up. Oh, this would be pretty. I don't think I have a lot of it though. Let's collage a little bit of that in, and I'll show you how I do that. Yeah, let me look in my folders here. Or I'll go grab a piece. I have a ton of that white and blue ledger paper. But let me look in here real quick. Now that I've added one piece in, I like the look of that. Let me grab one. Let's see, we'll grab a piece of this because that's a great white and blue. This is fun here. This piece is huge, but just so we get a little bit more of that going on. Okay, let's see about that. Let's rip a little bit of this down here. Oops, I stuck to my page here. Let me see if that's going to work. Yeah, we can rip a little bit of this down. Definitely, I think the back of it, I probably will cover with that paper. Oh, that'll look cool too. Okay. Yes, definitely. And if you have a lighter weight base and you're, say, using Fabri-Tac, I feel like Fabri-Tac adds some weight to it, so that can make a big difference as well. Most definitely. All right, let me alternate some of these. It's easier to rip this way, I find. Do a couple different widths of that. Yes, we had to put our, put our thinking on timeout. I need to practice that. I am such an overthinker. I'm a worrier. I'm an overthinker. It's kind of my nature to be that way. But I don't know about all of you. I feel like why crafting is so therapeutic is that when I'm crafting, I just kind of tune all the noise out. That's probably why I love it so much. I just completely tune out the world and other things that are going on. Let's see. And if you notice that you're maybe not aligned, like I know the other day when I was working on some, I felt it was started being very diagonal because of the papers I had. So then you can just overlap just to fix that. Very forgiving. Okay, let's see here. I love this, but do I want to go digging? I think I'll just use that to collage over the top. What else do I have? Ooh, I like that. I'll use that to collage. Let's see here. I didn't rip enough stuff down, did I? Okay, let's put a piece of this. And let me take a piece of this, I think. This kind of school book. This one definitely has a bright, very cheery, super happy summer look to it. A little bit of that. I feel like, let's see, maybe we want to rip. Do I have any more of the flower cut? I don't. So I have some of this, but I feel like I want a bigger piece. Yeah, I feel like I want a bigger piece. So let me find a bigger piece that I can rip the edge of it. Oh, maybe this one will work. Oh, this one will work. Oh, that's pretty. Okay, I love that. So it kind of mimics that. Let's use this piece. But I want something here because I'm going to put that on top. Ba, 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 ba. Maybe another piece of this. Oh yeah, very pretty. Very, very pretty. Okay. And I also will sometimes alternate my font. Like sometimes I have things going this way, and sometimes I have things going that way, depending on how I rip them. So, okay. And then let's glue the back of this. Beautiful. Look how pretty that is. I'll show a little bit of close up. So here's the one that we have a little bit of rip going. Some of them are very straight cuts. So pretty. Okay, now comes the beautiful and the cool part. Let me grab one of these. I know, I know, isn't that funny? Oh, is Christy here? I miss Christy coming. Oh, Christy, hello, hello. Yeah, that is funny, huh? How does it work out that way? Thread and fabric. I guess I could say, oh, I'm done, because I use fabric and thread on the same one back to back. But I do totally want to test that fabric washi thing. So that's probably, at least that's what I'm thinking for now. Okay, so we're going to turn it over, and I find it's easiest just to use my scissors. Also, we don't want to muck up some of this. We may end up keeping, but I'm going to throw it up here. It'll probably get thrown away once we're off. A little bit of jagged edges. I think I need to get a new blade for my paper cutter, which I haven't had it that long. I'm kind of surprised. Like, see, that's a good piece, but some of these are really small. Oh, I have to decide what is small, what is too small, what is small enough. Okay. So pretty. Look how beautiful that is. Bright and fresh and springy. So again, we can cut it this way, which would be very interesting to have it running top to bottom. We could make, I didn't really think out the way I was gluing down. We could make two tall skinny tags. This would be a great pocket. There's a million things. It would be a great belly band. I don't know what this will end up being, so I don't think I'm going to cut it any smaller. So adorable. But what I do want to do, what I enjoy doing, is coming in and layering, just giving it a little bit more texture, but still keeping it neutral. Like I have this piece of map here, which brings in the white and the blue. So I think I'm going to rip a piece of this down. And I'm going to rip it so it's a little bit pointed. And we're going to glue that there. Just a little bit more layering. And you could even just leave this as is, but you know me, I'm like, it's hard for me to do that. Okay, so let's layer that on. What else did I had something else too. This, even though it's kind of bold, I don't know, maybe that's a little bit too bold. Let me get these samples out of the way. I thought there was something else, but maybe that was it. I wish I had more of that map. No. Okay, let's cut it and let's see if we can use this other end here. And I'm just going to give it a little rip just so it has a little bit of a pointy end. And let's pick another spot for that. And you could ink depending on the look you want. I think this has such a bright, cheery look. I think it's fine just to leave it as is without inking, but I think I inked some of these. Yeah, I don't even know if you could tell, but some of these, like the secondary layer that I put on, I actually did come in and ink. And then, of course, I inked the edges of it too, but hopefully you can kind of see that came through. Okay, I feel like we need one more piece of that map, don't we? So we have our threes. Ooh, this is pretty. Ooh, I kind of like some of that. We have, this is that blue wallpaper that I always have hanging around. I think that's too much. Let me see if I can grab one more of the map page so that we are complete. I have so many stashes of paper here. Let me see if I have some of that that has the blue and the white. That is, oh, yay, we got lucky. I love this. This is some of my favorite paper because you know how I love blue, but I love the back side that has the text of those old maps. Okay, that was good. Let's see, throw that down there. And I think we'll go this way. So we get more of that text, more of the blue. And we want some down here. I think we'll do that much. And then I think we'll call this one done until we decide where we're going to use it. Okay. You did, Angela? Score. Was it cool fabric? Nice, nice. Yep. Isn't that funny too? How you found that fabric? I just never get over it. Everything seems so serendipitous. I don't know, doesn't it? Everything just always feels very serendipitous without how things happen every week with the prompts. Oh, that is so beautiful. Look at that. I love that. That is very happy and bright, but still a really nice neutral base to do something super fun. Okay, now what should we do next? Let's see what we can come up with. Maybe some of these papers. Let's rip some of these down and then maybe do a neutral. I'm kind of thinking with some of these darker pages. I don't know about that. That's like that's like craft paper. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm thinking neutral with some older vintage papers. Okay, it's going to get very loud with the gardener for just a minute. And let's do that same thing. Let's get a couple ripped pieces of it, just to get ourselves going. And this is perfect paper to do this with. It's very thin. In fact, some of it didn't rip very well. And then look how cool that is. This edge piece. Maybe we can. Ooh, let's see if we can use that. I like that. That is very cool. Okay, let's try to use that in some way. And then where's that other piece of this? Okay, maybe this one, I'm going to go ahead and cut it because our book page is awfully thin. I guess I could have, meaning narrow. I guess I could go this way. Now I'm going to cut these also because I think some of my darker kind of vintage paper is not particularly long. So let's do kind of two kind of little, we'll do a little mini masterboard with that. Okay. Okay, that's pretty. All right, same thing. We're not going to overthink it too much, but that's sort of the vibe that I'm getting with these colors. And I think I'm not going to use that. Do you see the little eyeballs? I don't want the eyeballs. So it's sort of hard to tell what it is. Okay. Oh, this is a cool. So this is thick. We're using kind of, and I'll do that too. I'll alternate kind of thin book pages. And then this is a cutoff from, I think, one of those Dollar Tree time cards, right? So they're a little bit thicker, a little bit more cardboard. I'm going to give this a little bit of glue down here because I'm already not straight. Okay. I like that. All right, let's get out some of our ooh, I like that. Let's put some of that down. With that big font there. Okay. Let's see what we have here. Now, I'm usually not drawn to something like this where there's so much white space with nothing on it, but this would probably be a fun piece to rip this down a little bit more and then maybe just collage that over the top, this side too. I don't know why. I don't get super drawn to that. Let's see here. I'm digging in my bin. Ooh, look at this. That would be cool too. So this was, although actually now that I say that, I'm going to keep this. I was going to make a journal cover out of this book, and I'm going to throw it over there. And I had some that was ripped off, and I was trying to go back and repair it. So this is cool. This is kind of lined ledger paper. I don't have a lot of dark in here after I did those other. Oh, here's a piece. We need some longer though. That really made, no, I don't like that. Oh, here we go. Here's a piece. We will rip that down. I'm looking for the beiges. Okay, let's put some of that down. And I'm going to bring in more color. Oh yeah, that's beautiful. This would be really pretty too. I just had a thought with magazine pages or the glossy pages, and then you could overlay with that fun technique we were having fun with last week with white tissue paper, or which was Nettie's brilliant idea, which I have to say is my most favorite. Of all the different ones we tried, the white tissue is my new favorite. My original favorite was the tracing paper, but I love the white tissue. So pretty. Okay, let's see. I think I'm going to put glue on the back of that just because it's overlapping. And that ripped. Pretty. Okay. I feel like I definitely need some darker. Do I want to use that? No, I don't like that. That's just too, what's this? Ooh. Oh, that's beautiful. It's like coffee dyed. Let's see. Well, let's use this side. A little strip of coffee dyed paper. Beautiful. Hi, Mandy. How are you? Welcome. Yes, Mandy, I'm just using glue stick, and I just grabbed one of my really wide ones here just so I have more coverage, but any glue stick will do. And I find glue stick is sort of my preferred. And so that I'm not overthinking it a ton, I've been laying down maybe an inch or two of glue and then just grabbing and gluing down. But I'm sort of running out. Oh, this is a good. Is this long enough? I'm sort of running out of the tone of paper because I really like that would be a cool one. I really used up a lot in just doing those few cards. And it looked like so many paper strips. I don't know if Leanne even remembers when she was here a couple weeks ago. It was kind of overtaking a little corner. Yeah, I definitely need some darker paper. So let me go grab a couple pieces. Let's see here. I'm just over in my bin. Let me grab a couple things here. Like, let's grab a couple of that kind of darker dictionary. What else do I have in here? I know I have some stuff that's darker. What is this here? Oh, this isn't super dark, but let's use some of this. That still has a cool tone to it. And what else? What about this? Oh, this might be kind of cool. This is just a little, like a kid's book. I don't even know what it is. Something. Maybe some of that would work. Okay, I think we have enough browns going. I am so excited to get back to working on organizing my craft space here. Let's see, do we want a little, yeah, let's put another piece of this down. I've been so focused on the garage. Oh, this was that, ooh, this piece, that was so cool. Maybe that'll end up going down there. See, these are all small here. Sorry for the gardener. Now I'm squirreling too much here. I don't mind that. This is a piece of map that has kind of an interesting edge there. Let's use a piece of that. And I'm going to rip it, so hopefully we can add maybe some more in someplace else there. Okay, let's do a little bit of this here. Ooh, that's kind of cool too. Even a little bit of that map I like. Oh, where did I put that? I think I have it close by. I will grab that, Susie. It was so cool. Such a cool book. I guess that was 2 weeks ago, right? Now it's been a while. Let's see. Let me grab a piece of this. So much for saying I'm using up all my strips, which I did put a big, oh, and then this was so cool. So this was the other thing I discovered this week. So I had them in this beautiful kind of coffee cup, this that I had on the other side of my desk. But when I was out in the garage and cleaning up some stuff, I came across this box. So this is now my new, there's some bigger pieces in here that I stuck in for today. But this is now my new container for my strips. And it's perfect because it's nice and long. It's like the perfect shape. So this is now the new home. And it's nice. It kind of got that messy looking cup out of my desk because I would just kind of throw it over in that direction, and it was so full it was hard to, you know, it was all fiddly trying to stick things down in it. It got quite full. So anyway, that's my new. Let's see, a little bit longer of this. Very messy today. Yeah, I think that's good. Our glue is drying out a little bit here. Hi, Nancy. How are you? Welcome, welcome. I hope you're having a good day. I'm glad you're here. Okay, now what do we think? What do we need down here? What is calling to me? Do we want to have more of that book page? Yeah, I think so. Let's just stick that down. I'd like to have more of this sort of grid stripe going, but for some reason, this wasn't jazzing me. Let's just go for it. We'll lay it down and then maybe we'll come in and do that kind of secondary little bit of collage. And when we cut it, it might end up looking nice. Actually, I'm going to collage over it right now. I grabbed this and I like the way that looked. So I'm going to put a little bit of extra. Maybe it's a little bit too much white space for me. I'm not sure. Okay, much better. I like that better. Okay, and then down here, can we use that? This edging is so very cool. Let's see here. Wonder if it's going to catch. Probably need to go this direction. Oh, maybe we'll do that. We'll collage it. We'll collage it in here a little bit. What does the other side look? Ooh, that's kind of cool with the green. Ooh, I like it right there. And I'm going to ink this one. Let me grab my inker. I feel like it's calling for ink. Didn't do a very good job of moving things over to this side of the desk. Feel like I probably should have inked some of the other pieces. Where did I like it? Ooh, there. It's very cool. And art glitter. Let me go grab that. I guess I thought, oh, we're just going to be, we just need the glue stick and we're going to be good. Super simple and easy. Most things with me, I guess, aren't super simple and easy. I'm always a more is more kind of person. All right. And then as soon as I'm going to try very hard not to forget, Susie, I'm going to grab that after we cut this. Okay. I love that. Okay. Down here. What do we want? Maybe book page. What's calling to me? Oh, this is the one we were ripping down, huh? I like that green. I like to bring a little bit more of that green in. Of course, that's probably not enough. Kind of backing myself into a corner here. Well, nothing's calling to me. What are you all thinking? Is it too busy? Something. Let's see here. Oh, I like this one. I don't know why, but I like that one. Okay. I think that'll work. And we're putting it upside down, but it is good. And then let's see. Yeah, okay, let's cut it and then let's see what we want to add secondarily. Kind of glued down to my thing here. Where's my, let's burnish that down a little bit. So that's what we look like. And of course, it doesn't need to go that way. It could also go this way too. Okay, so now let's cut it and reveal how cool it's gonna look. I think this would be a great backdrop for just a neutral fall journal. Some little fall fussy cut images. Ooh, like mushrooms or something would maybe look super cute with that. Okay, let's add that. Let's add that to our pile of stuff, drawing pile. Ooh, I'm gonna grab out that piece. I like that. Maybe a couple more of these. Okay. Let's tame the chaos a little bit. Let's put this back in because I might lose it. Chances are. Okay. And we're getting really sticky. Okay. And there we are. I think that looks super, super cool. Looks good either direction, but let's lay in a little bit, a few more other things here. I don't know why this map seems super cool. Maybe because I have that map. Let's add a little bit of map in. It's just grabbing my attention. So let's put a few more strips here. And what did I do with that green piece? I had a little bit of green. Was it here? Okay, let's ink that up. I'm going to use this. Okay. All right, and then we'll put another piece of map, and then, or do I want this side? Oh, that's cool. Has a lot of green on that side. And then we'll cut, and then I think this one will be done. Nice and neutral. Oh, I love that. Yep, I'm picturing fall leaves, mushrooms, squirrels, something like that. I think that is really cool. Maybe like a Tim Holtz paper doll kind of figure, I think would look cool. And then of course, when I would come in and add more collaging to it, you know, you can round the edges and make it into a tag shape. But this definitely, I won't ink the whole thing, but definitely to me, this calls for more inking. So there's number 2. Okay, let me go grab, where did I put that? That was from, is that what we did a couple weeks ago? I thought it was very close. Oh, here we go. I have so many bins of journals started. Okay, so here's that cool book that I think will be a great journal base. And then let me see. I'm pretty sure, was this tissue? Let me remember. Oh, okay. So these I made before. So these I made with tracing paper. So you can kind of see what that looks like. And that is on top of glossy book page. And it's also inked quite a bit. So there's the look with the tracing paper. And then which one do you guys remember that we did with the tissue paper? Was it that one? I'm pretty sure this, oh wait, here we go. No, we didn't do that. I'm pretty certain that this was the white tissue paper because I think we started this together, this library pocket here, and I'm pretty sure by that time Nettie had suggested trying the white tissue paper, and so that was the white tissue paper. And I like it because it's more see-through. Of course, it's hard to tell because these are 2 different illustrations and 2 different images, but they came from the same book, so they were probably very much similar in, I guess, depth of color, if I want to say it that way. But yeah, I like the white tissue paper because it's not as opaque. You can see through it a little bit more. So I'm sure, let's see, these were the cards we did. I know we did something else with it too, right? Was it this? Let me see. Oh, maybe it was this. Maybe. See, now I can't remember. I'd have to go back and look. So I can't remember. This almost looks like tracing paper. I don't know. Let me see. Oh, Terry's saying, was it this one? Is this the one that we did? Yeah, and you could go back and watch it, Susie. I'm pretty sure it was because we weren't together last week. So I think it was from 2 weeks ago, the video. I think is Terry saying, yeah, I think it was this one. You know, my memory is so bad. Although does this feels, this kind of feels like it was the tissue paper. So this, okay, this one, yeah, this one. Yeah, I like it because you can see it covers up the glossiness. And that was the whole point too, right? We were trying to cover up the gloss because of course you all know I do not like the gloss. I'm not a big fan of glossy book pages and magazine pages for whatever reason. I also don't, I collect pottery. I think it must be the same thing. I collect pottery and I like the matte pottery versus really highly glossed pottery. So there's something I'm just not a glossy girl. Let me attach that. But so cool. I'm very glad. I guess I'll stick that in here. That Nettie suggested that because it's fabulous. Yeah, I think that was it. Very cool. So this whole technique would be great if you use the glossy and then you took, and it's so incredibly cheap, right? The white, it's even cheaper than tracing paper. I think the tracing paper I picked up at a thrift store, but I use white tissue paper for packing my Etsy orders. So I always have a ton of it and it's just super, super inexpensive. In fact, I think you could probably even get it at Dollar Tree. Okay, let's see, what kind of vibe what do we want to do next? What is calling out? Do we want to try some of this? What do you guys think? Shout out in the chat. What kind of vibe? I feel like we did kind of a neutral. I'm looking at what I have here. I have some more of this receipt paper, which is cool. What else do I have? Oh, this, I don't even know where I got this. It probably came in Happy Mail, but this is like an example of something that's great to use for this type of project. It's Wisconsin. It was like a tax, maybe it came from Angela, Traveling Crafter. It's like I don't know, it's like a tax return how-to kind of thing, but it's great color, right? The yellow is a really great color. Okay, what is speaking to me? Okay, I have those papers. I feel like it might be fun to do something with these creepy dudes here. So we'll just have to figure out what colors we have that we can kind of pull in. What's this book? I pulled this out earlier. Oh, this is oranges, which is kind of fun. Let's use the creepy dudes because they're creepy. Let's see what we can get going on with these. So let's rip some of that down. And I think I'm going to rip down here where I have more color going on. Oh, and what is my base? That will determine. Oh, I have another one of these tags. So we'll just use that because I have that close by. You are very welcome, Susie. Okay. Oh, I guess I could even go this way. What are these guys doing? It's like cutting something and eating it. It's like so crazy. Okay, let's get more color. Although I don't like the eyeballs, right? I'm not a huge fan of the eyeballs. Let's see, let's go down here a little bit. And let's tear some. So we have a few that are straight and then some that are a little bit more torn. Let's do a couple of those maybe. And then what colorway goes with that? Let's kind of pull forward. Okay, so we have that going on. What else is calling to us? Maybe this. We have black and white. Oh, you know what would be great? I think sheet music. I don't know why. Sheet music is some kind of whiter. Oh, that's good. That is good. Okay. I like that. What is this song? The Smile That Was on Your Face. I like that wording. I think I'll make it a little bit more narrow, and I'm just going to rip it. Oh, a little, ooh, blue would be good. Okay, let me find some blue. Blue would be really good with that because it's kind of a chartreuse, kind of yellow green. Good idea. Okay, let me get one more. Always love blue. Let's see. Ooh, maybe some of that. Now the question is, where do I have it? That kind of blue looking. We can do the blue graph paper, but that, oh, this one. Even though it's kind of, maybe not. Yeah, I think let's see how this looks. Or is that too antique-y looking? I think this part might work well with the grids. Let's see. I don't think it's perfect, but I think it might work. Maybe this would be better. Ooh, let's do a little bit of that too. Okay. I have a big mess going here. Okay, let's do some of this. Like that. Looking in my bin here, what else do I have? Some of that this might work too. This longitude, latitude. Ooh, ooh. My mind's eye noticed some music lines look like they do. Wouldn't that would be beautiful to do. Ooh, Susie, you should try it. Do a collage and make like a tree trunk and branches. It does. Look at that. Look at that one too, right? Wouldn't that be cool for Halloween? And rip it jagged, have like a little crow or something. Good idea. If I had, I wish I had. Oh no, I do. I actually have I actually spied it the other day. I do have a Halloween. Okay, where'd the eyeballs go? Because I'll forget. Great idea. Of course, now I've lost them. Okay, I'm just going to put this whole thing, I'm going to throw it over there, but this is a nice big piece that can go in my little Halloween folder. There it goes. Good idea, Amy. And how are you? How are you doing today? Okay. All right, let's just start. Let's see where we go. What are we, an hour and 22? Maybe this will be our last one. What time is it? My time, 11:22. I'm going to try. One of the reasons I moved up the start time to 10 my time is I found that, I think a lot of you know, I had found that great consignment place close by. It's run by Assistance League, and they do take a 50% cut, but and I haven't gone probably in 4 or 5 months because I never can make it over there in time. I have to look at the thing. I think you have to get there by 1. Is it 1 or 1:30? And and as long as you get in the door by that time, it's fine. But it's basically an open drop off. So you can bring 10 things. They could be new as well, but I've been using it to get rid of or dispose of, sell off like heavier vintage things I don't want to ship or I don't want to take photos of. Like I've taken a lot of my mom's things over. So anyway, that's been a great source to kind of clear things out as well. But with the later start time, it's been harder to get, oh, that just stuck. So we're just going for it. We're just gonna leave it because it's stuck. Whoops. Let me put the lid on here. So anyway, hopefully, and I don't have that much more. I was putting together this morning 10 items, and I think I still need 3. And I was kind of ooh, that got ink all over it. And they take jewelry too. but I'm kind of not digging a lot into I do have quite a bit of vintage jewelry, but that's pretty small. It doesn't take up a lot of room at the moment. So I'm just kind of hunting for hard goods. But that's good. I'm getting to the point where I've cleared a lot of that out. So that's pretty. Okay, let's get something kind of behind it. Let's see. Oh, what about this one? Yeah, let's do that one. So hopefully I can do that a couple more times. Probably need to be about right there, I guess. Such a great suggestion, Amy, with the eyeballs. We have a few hands in here, but you can't really tell. Okay. All right. This is a cool color combo. Like that. I feel like some black and white. Oh, we have this. No, I don't like that. I feel like we need a third thing that is black and white. Well, maybe we just need another strip of this. Maybe we need that. Ho, ho, ho. Maybe some of this. Oh, I like that. Ooh, it's too much there. Okay, let's use a piece of this. I like that. Oh, the other thing I wanted to say, and I've seen a few creators doing this, so I do not know why. I don't know if it's because my channel isn't the right size. I also think it may be because, although I don't know, that probably doesn't make sense, but I've requested several times to get an Amazon storefront on Amazon, right? So I could just put a generic link to that storefront. I'm going to continue to put the individual associate affiliate links as I can find them, or things that I bought. I'll continue to put that down in the description of all our weekly vintage crafting chats. But I saw several other crafter content creators had set up in their link tree basically an Amazon shop. So I worked on that a little bit this past week. So if you go into my link tree, I think there's a thing that says shop. And so that way, when I'm on or somebody's asking about maybe something off the cuff of a supply or something that we're not necessarily using for the day, then I can just say, oh, that's in the link tree. And as I find new products that I buy and love and enjoy, then I can add them in there. But I just wanted to, I think I had a note to mention that. So I wanted to mention that really quick. I think I want another piece of this. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I'm guessing Amazon probably has where your channel has to be of a certain size, right? They want your social media to be a certain size. And I probably just have not hit it yet. Oh, wait, we have this, right? Yeah, let's put a piece of this down. Let's do it that way so we have more of the grid going. Good idea. Yes. I didn't even think about that. Yes, the fancy edge. Brilliant. Oh, I love that. Okay. Yeah, I won't do it in this one, but whatever the next one I do, I'm definitely going to do that. Because I feel like I would have had to have had, I guess I could come up here and layer a couple in. We'll see once we get a few more layers down. Okay, let's do, I wish I had more of that. Let me grab it because it's down here. That I do have close at hand. I have, well, you guys have seen my little space, but I have a little basket down here on the floor. And then I have that little plastic drawer unit that I had thrifted, I think at the beginning of the summer. But this is always one of my favorite go-tos. So I keep this close at hand. No, I feel like I need something with a little bit more movement. I think we'll do that one. Okay, throw that away. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so let's put that down. And then we'll put the little ripped one over the top of it. Whoops. Okay. I love that idea with the scissors. Do I want to go up that way? Let's go up with the tear. Okay. All right, now I feel like we need a little bit. I love, love, love that. I need something else down here. I got ink all over that. I'm gonna throw that piece away. Oh, I could use this. I'll just rip that off. Okay. All right, let's put a piece of that. Let's see. I'm gonna do, I think I'm gonna do this. And then yeah, maybe that is calling to me. I think that's okay. Oh, I covered up the words. It would have been cute to have that, the words on there. Well, there's a little bit of wording. A little bit. Where's the bottom of my tag? Let's do like that. And then this. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. Cool. I'm gonna burnish. I'm just gonna burnish it down a little bit. Isn't that a great idea, Susie? I'm very excited. I'm very excited to try it. In fact, we can cut some paper and kind of see what it looks like. Even if we're not necessarily going to use it on this one. I feel like I don't use my decorative scissors as much, even though they're in the cart next to me. I did use them to make a little label. Something I was doing yesterday, just like a little kind of stack of papers. Oh my gosh, this one is so pretty. Isn't that pretty? And that's just scraps and that weird that weird illustration with those goofy guys. Look how beautiful that is. Oh my gosh, I love this. Oh, I think that's really pretty. And hopefully you can see the blue. And that was a fabulous suggestion, Susie, to add the blue. I think that is a great accompaniment to that kind of chartreusey green. Isn't that cute? Ooh, I love that. Would have been great. Of course, we get limited by our book pages, but that is beautiful. It does. It does. It looks very mid-century modern. This will have to have like, yeah, like a cold mid-century modern vibe. So that is cool. What time? I think we're a pretty good time today, right? 1:30. We've been on for about an hour and a half. So let me grab. Maybe, well, I have to find 3 more things. I'd like to take 10 things. I only want to go if I find 10 things, but I feel like I could pull out a few more things. And also it's been a good outlet for things that maybe haven't moved on Etsy. If I've had them in my Etsy shop for a while, I've taken them over and then they've sold, and I just haven't relisted them on Etsy. So that's been a good thing. Yeah, so beautiful. Okay, so there's that one. And they're all completely different. They all have a totally different vibe. And here's this very kind of fall vibe going on. And then this one would have looked cute to have the pinking shares with this really bright pop of color. I think would look cool. But then of course, some of those decorative scissors, they have like the jagged edges or the really kind of right angled cuts, but so beautiful, all very different. And of course, you just had a big piece of cardstock and your book pages were big enough, you could really get a lot of mileage out of doing them. But yeah, I just think these turned out really great. Now I have many more strips, so I'll have to clean this all up and put everything in my new handy vintage box that I have. But I think those are beautiful. And again, I don't think, like, they really don't need a lot. I think that's what's nice about them. And frankly, if you just, this one, that's so beautiful. You could even just put a beautiful little piece of lace, a pretty topper, cut the edges and do a little corner round on the edges. It doesn't really need that much. I don't know why I keep thinking about mushrooms. Now I feel like I want to grab mushrooms. I don't know. I think they're just so beautiful that you don't necessarily even need to add. I think these are too diminutive of a mushroom. Yeah, I think it would need something more behind it, but I think that's super cute. I probably would layer something that's a little bit less busy behind it. Not this, but I do a little layering action, maybe some fabric, and give it a little something to sit on. But they don't need that much. Just very, very simple. Like that one was just a very simple adornment, because I think the beautiful collage kind of speaks for itself. And where was that other one that I did? This one, oh my gosh, so super easy. And I just glued a ticket on front. didn't do anything. I think I inked it, but didn't do anything beyond that. Just a little label, just something that's simple and easy. So that was fun. I hope you guys all enjoyed. Oh yes, that would be beautiful. Ooh, a leaf would be beautiful on this. I don't think I have any rub-on leaves, but yeah, a really kind of dark colored, like bold fall leaf would be gorgeous. Oh, beautiful. I'm gonna write myself a little note on that because I love that suggestion. That would be beautiful. I love that. I'm going to say background, focal for leaf. Beautiful. Oh, I love that suggestion. Okay, maybe I can find a leaf and then I'll post it. I will post it on the community tab. All right, friends. I'm trying to think. Was there anything else? Nope. We did the prompt. We pulled the prompt. I wanted to mention that about the link tree. Let's see. Let me look at the calendar really quick because there is 1 week where I won't be with you guys, but I think I'm with you next week. Let me take a look here really quick. It's been really hard this summer. So much going on. Let's see here. Okay, what's today? The 24th. Okay, so we'll be together next week, the 31st. I don't have anything planned at all. Look, I've been really bad. I haven't even kept the calendar up to date. And then, yeah, so we'll be together on the 31st. I have no idea what we will be working on. You guys can put something in the chat if there's something that you've been wanting to explore together. I love suggestions. And then I won't be with you for 2 weeks. So I won't be with you the 7th or the 14th. And then we'll be back together on the 21st. So you guys will have a little bit of break from me for a couple weeks while we're traveling. Yep. And then, yep. Okay, perfect. Oh, because you have rub-ons? Yeah, I have some Halloween rub-ons. Mine, all the ones I have are from Dollar Tree. I have the Halloween ones they had out last year and the alphabet, those black and white alphabet ones, which I haven't used. I need to find a craft for that to try those out. But I think those are the only ones. Well, I have the really big ones that I've used on furniture, the IOD ones, which are beautiful, which I keep wanting to get out and maybe do a little project where I can use them in the junk journal world. But those are really beautiful if you guys have seen those. But so that is it, my friend. I am going to say goodbye. And I think I have enough time to try to find 3 or 4 additional things and get some lunch and get over to the consignment place. So that's exciting. It's exciting. Anytime I get more things out the door, I'm very excited. In fact, I have to brag. I have been such a busy bee. I haven't been posting much. I said the other day, I think I made a post on Instagram where I've been very absent. You guys haven't seen me. I haven't been making a lot of posts. I haven't even been in our craft group as much as I would like to because I've been completely focused on getting the garage organized, getting everything cleaned out, and now I have a little tiny pile next to my photography station that is left to be photographed. And my goal was to not have any Etsy inventory in the garage. So now I think all I have left is a box of vintage Christmas. There might be a couple other things maybe that I put in the bottom. So I have one more bin, which is one of those kind of flip up bins, but you know, it's a big size bin. So I have that left. And I have a box of seashells, which is very random, but I have some like big old kind of vintage shells and other things. So I need to go through with Taylor and see if that is anything she would be interested in. And that's it. I mean, I have 2 antique dressers out there. One dresser is completely cleaned out. I had a lot of ephemera, office supplies. That's where I've been finding all the cool ephemera that I forgot about. That's completely cleaned out. And then I have one drawer in the other antique dresser that is ephemera, older magazines, maps and that kind of thing. And eventually I'll get to that drawer and kind of go through and decide maybe some of it should be craft packs. I don't know, maybe some of the things may be listed individually, but I am patting myself on the back. I've been working so hard the last, I don't know, 3-4 weeks. So yay, I'm there. I see the light at the end of the tunnel. And Kathy knows. I've been working on, our garage was completely empty. My mom and stepdad passed away, and then we could not walk through our garage. It was completely full of vintage and antiques and things that we had brought back of my parents to decide what we were keeping and those things that we would rehome. So yeah, we've gone for not being able to walk in to the garage. We now have one vehicle, and maybe we can park a second one in there, but I'm kind of okay with where it is because I have my packing and, you know, bubble wrap and all that kind of stuff still in there. So anyway, that is it, my friends. I thank you all for being here. And I will see you next week. And if anybody thinks of something fun, write it in the comment section below. If there's something I'm really good about, I am good about checking comments. So yeah, if you think of anything you'd like us to tackle, look into, experiment with, or just a fun craft you've been thinking about doing together, put it down in the comment section, and maybe that's what we'll do next week. Hi, honey. My daughter just got home from school. All right. Love you all. I hope you have an amazing week, and I will see you next Thursday. Bye, everybody.